Hey guys, Nolan and Jason here for Roofing Webmasters.
Howdy.
Today's going to be interesting. ChatGPT and Roofing SEO. What is Google's Bard?
Google Bard is what
Google
they're called.
Bard. I transpose that. Okay, I knew that. I wrote it that way, but then when I said it out loud, I was like, that's not right. Anyway, so ChatGPT, everybody's heard about AI entering into at least by now, right?
Yeah. It's all in certain sectors. It's all anybody's talking about.
So we're going to talk about if you're ready for it, what it means, what it's going to do, what we know about it so far.
Right.
I do want to back up and say, we had built, and we're going to talk about DataPins, obviously. So we had separate corporation have DataPins, DATAPINS, and we had conceptualized. We stood around for years talking about how basic content's pretty crappy.
We did it because you had to, because it worked.
Yep.
But we knew we were seeing year over year.
Well, Google's saying they didn't want it.
Yeah, that it wasn't working as well. And we knew when Google says this isn't really what we want done, what that means is they're a few years away
figured it out
from actively punishing.
Right.
They did the same thing with links, a decade ago.
So Google's saying, we don't like all this content. Make sure you write it for the user. And we're like, what does that mean? It means don't write it so that you can get optimized, write it for the user. I still have people to this day. There's a lead that had come in saying, I'm interested in website design and content creation. And people need content, but when somebody is dictating the terms of the service, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
He thinks he needs content in the way he thinks he needs it.
He probably read a document from 10 years ago or 5 years ago, and
he does need content, but if someone calls up, they're dictating it, typically they're spammy or way behind.
Right.
Right. So you're going to go on Fiverr and get content written or something like that.
I need 3 pages slammed in every week, which isn't going to do anything.
Yeah. So we stopped doing blogging 5 years ago, 4 years ago.
3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Like
so about 3 or 4 years ago, we quit blogging. It doesn't mean we still write content. If you don't have content for a service or a material, you're not going to have a basis for a good user experience, and they won't show you, basically.
Right.
They also won't know you do it.
Yeah,
still do. Even with the AI or ChatGPT, they're not going to know that you do certain things. That's not there at this point.
Yeah, they don't know that you as a roofer use this particular material or do tile or just shingle or if you do metal
TPO.
or
They know you're a roofer. They know you do roof repair. So you still need good content, but content had changed. So people were slamming in lots of content, copied content, AI written. What was it, Jasper everyone was using?
Jasper AI.
And then they got penalized. Google released an algorithm saying, hey, we don't like this content. And we didn't know at the time, but it was a preemptive strike in September 2022 against AI content.
Yeah.
Because they knew that it was coming. So if you had written your website with AI content, you got massive penalties.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen that sort of thing in years.
Yeah, not since Penguin.
Yeah, and a bunch of blogs that nobody wants to read, all that stuff. So I guess, I'm going to read something that someone that works with us wrote that's a really good explanation of what's coming up with Google. So ChatGPT, I just said for the title, because that's what everybody's talking about.
Yeah, that's the one everybody knows.
But everybody's going to have their AI. So Google unveiled this upcoming search perspectives filter on their May 10th Google I/O event. Feature aims to showcase contents that's created based on experience of others. Now, in the beginning, they may pull this from different areas like YouTube or whatever, but in the coming weeks when you search something, so you're still going to search like normal on Google, which is still where everybody is, but Bing's an honorable mention at this point with everything.
Yeah, they got a little bit of a boost.
They were a dishonorable mention. We didn't speak about them.
Yeah, it was pointless.
It was pointless. Now they're an honorable mention, but Google's still the main thing. So Google came out and said, in the coming weeks, search something that might benefit from experiences of others. You may see a perspectives filter appear on the top of search results instead of a rich snippet or something.
Yeah. I've actually seen people in SEO circles talking about rich snippets disappearing. Well, they're on their searches, they're seeing it less because Google's transitioning to a different thing.
Yeah, so seems content is initially going to come from forums, maybe like a YouTube or a Reddit forum. However, it aligns with the objectives of DataPins, which is to publish content that verifies the company's experience and expertise through job site pins. And I'll stop there and describe it a little bit. So crappy content is just some writer writing 400 words. It's not crappy, but it's
not badly written. It's just without purpose.
It's without purpose and not wanting to be read.
Right.
The consumer does not want to consume that content fully.
Right.
So if you have somebody write a page about roof repair, you still need it, but it's not heavily consumable. And because of that, they're trying to find things that people actually want to see. So when somebody takes DataPins out and spends 60 seconds to tag up to 6 photos, to write a caption like just did a roof replacement with GAF HD Timberline shingles, and they tag the geo coordinate where it's located with a red pin drop, unique photos, and that technical perspective, the expertise of the estimator or the owner of the company or the salesperson.
Right.
That individual doing that, that's phenomenal content. So compare that little blurb of content that gets added to the roof replacement page to like a blog about 3 reasons to check your roof after a hailstorm that's just written to show up for hail damage roof Dallas TX.
Right.
So that's really horrible content. And then the content that this gets posted under, the general 300 or 400 words, it's marginal, but needed, but not something that someone wants to consume. When somebody has an issue with the GAF shingles and they've typed it in, that's consumable content. The consumer's going to have a great experience.
Those 2 sentences become better than a 400-word article.
They do.
At that point.
Yeah, they're like, wow, that's a GAF roof. It looks real similar to my architectural shingle that I have. And the trees look like they're local. The housing structures look local. And yeah, that's definitely down the street from me on a map.
Yeah.
And this company and individuals seem to know what problems I got, that I need help with. So that's very relevant stuff. Nolan Walker here for DataPins. You may not know, but I own a software company, and we have a proprietary software called DataPins, DATAPINS. You can search it at datapins.com. This is not white labeled. I actually own this piece of software, and I made it for you. It was made for contractors. You can actually take pictures of jobs, up to 6, make a caption about the material, the brand, the situation, the repairs, and post that back to your individual pages on your website, just like that. It's super simple. Anyone could use it. It also texts and emails your clients direct links to your reviews, so it helps reputation and reviews, which helps conversion and map placement. The geo coordinate gets grabbed by DataPins, and Google can tell where you are. So instead of them just seeing reviews, they see all jobs or even estimates that you do. This vastly outperforms just getting reviews. Helps the map show up, helps organic keywords, and remember those captions that you're putting in there help expand the keywords per page, and it's great regular content. I love it. We made it just for you. It is organic optimization on steroids for both your website, your rankings, and the map placement. Check out DataPins. I think you'll be happy you did. So when we started looking at this, we'd sit around in rooms and talking. I'd get worried about it. I'd talk to you about it and say, hey.
Oh yeah, a big topic of discussion for all 9 years I've worked for you has been, do you think Google's going to make a change anytime in the next 5 to 10 years that's going to eliminate what we do?
Eliminate content.
It constantly comes up as a subject.
But content came up a lot, and in the way in which we optimize. And basically what we got out of it, and we got lucky that we had this guy working here that happened to know how to program. And when we split that off, but we started building this software with Robert, and we conceptualized what would be better content. What would be better branded digital signaling, maybe, and content combined. So we thought of it more like digital signaling. We thought of it more from a reviews and reputation.
Reviews. Yeah, it started out as a review program.
Yeah, it started out just like texting links to reviews, but then it was like, well, wait a minute. This thing can actually bring content in and drop it on individual pages automatically and have a much better page. And then we started looking at the pages, and we're like, well, these pages could conceptually be about a topic with embellishments about the topic, so it's relevant to the entity category, right?
Right.
And then that's a readable page. And then the stuff within the page is even more readable and relevant. So all that stuff that we worked on for like years is all of a sudden about to be what's shown.
Yeah.
Yeah. We think.
Yeah.
And
so our track record is pretty good on this kind of thing.
It's been good. And let me tell you this, they're not going to show the old crap that people have. In fact, they've already penalized them.
Yeah. We've been seeing that for the past year.
Yeah, getting close to a year. Yeah. So anybody that had 100 blogs that nobody wants to read. Oh, I thought this was an interesting one, but like someone would kind of got blustery with me and like, well, my blogs are pretty good. And I'm like, okay, so you're at a family reunion with newborns to 90-year-olds, and it's really interesting. So there's like 50 people there, and they've broken off into groups, 6 different groups. And some are looking at the children and talking about babies. Some people are getting wisdom from the elders. And you've got your 100 blogs printed out on a coffee table. I told the guy that.
You didn't tell me about that.
Yeah, I was like, who's going to come talk to you? Are your blogs readable? I said, they're not readable. It's absolute hogwash content. And in fact, it's so bad that Google, in an attempt to stop AI content from taking over and basically just making the web a crappy place.
Yeah, crappier than it already is.
Crappier than the content already is. Yeah, has penalized it, and nobody wants to read them. And now you're carrying a penalty. So people got penalized back, and I'm still getting calls. Something happened around the first year or the end of last year. It's like, oh yeah, you got a 300-page site with a bunch of crap content. It doesn't mean like we still build a 30, 40-page website. But it's relevant content about you. We don't throw in just junk to try to optimize it.
Yeah.
Or blog a week or blog every other day.
Well, like we used to. We went from way back when blog a week to we went from multiple blogs a week to blog a week to blog every 2 weeks to blog a month to blog every other month to no blogs.
Yeah, and I believe most people are still doing blogs because they don't have proprietary software like DataPins, and so the agency doesn't know what to do to justify themselves for workload to
so that look at all the articles we write.
Look at what we're writing for you. And
then, I still get current clients who call them, hey, can we do some blogging? And I'm like, just no.
Yeah.
Not unless you want us to screw up your site. I'm real straight with them. It's just like, no, that's a bad idea.
Let me get this tin can and string. I'm going to run this over to you real quick so we can continue this conversation.
I noticed you haven't done a pin in 6 months. Why'd you stop using it? Oh, it just got too hard to use. I said, this is a million times better than blogging. Take the 60 seconds after every job.
Yeah. All right. So the next thing, Google's document went on to reveal how this update will also impact standard search results. In the coming months, we'll roll out an update to the system that more deeply understands content created from a personal or expert point of view, allowing us to rank this useful information on search. So that's all it is.
That's DataPins right there.
So they've been talking about an acronym forever on Google called EAT, and then they added EEAT as experience, expertise, authority, and trust. Yep. And that was supposed to kind of be your organic optimization or SEO if you could get that branded signaling out.
Right.
And it was basically difficult for them to do so much so that Google's having to go pull stuff from other places. One of the worst places for like legit good content that's left is like a contractor or a roofer. Like other content had gotten more interesting, more integrated, right? Don't you think? Like people
in a lot of cases.
In a lot of cases they pulled in more stuff, but the contractor still had the template website that'd go out with bad content, never worked on, branded signaling horrible, and trying to get reviews on their Google map.
Right.
But that's not enough to have a healthy digital branded signal of many things. Like it's just not enough. And then they wonder why they don't show up in mapping. It's because you're not pinging anything, not showing anything. And overall, it's just a pretty bad thing to show to a consumer or a Google searcher. So anyway, lastly, it's becoming more clear that the future of SEO-based content will underscore the importance of experience. DataPins is designed to verify and validate experience through branded web content. As a result, DataPins is primed to assist contractors in transforming to modern SEO. So yeah, basically the sites we already do.
Yeah. The
sites we've been doing.
This is part of our long history of Google saying we're moving to this, and us going, hey, we already do that.
So we've been. I kind of knock on something, but every time there's an algorithmic update, we're okay or do better.
Yeah.
Our clients have not been
For years now.
For years. Our clients have not been affected by an algorithmic change in eons negatively.
Right.
Eons. And so hopefully when this comes, so this is, I mean, this won't be years because AI has accelerated everything so much that this.
Oh no, we're going to see this by the end of the year.
Weeks to months.
Yeah.
So this is weeks to months, not something high, just in case anybody's wondering about AI integration. And so it's still, the way I understand it's still the basic algorithm that you'll go on and search, and the algorithm still exists, but it's being AI assisted.
Yeah. An AI is going to assist looking at other forms, looking at other information, collating that with what the algorithm says, and then delivering a different experience in search results.
It's gonna, and it'll continue to, transform and go, but they're better able to understand the quality of our websites now.
Yeah.
Basically. So as the stuff goes, they'll continue to digest this exact type of content. So we've been doing it this way for a while, and the sites already do well. I expect they're going to do much, much better. Nolan Walker here for Roofing Webmasters. I want you to consider becoming one of our clients. We've done this for 12 years, have hundreds of clients. We help everybody with their design, their code, their content, showing up on Google as high as possible. Clients get regular call volume. If you've never experienced what I call the big show, showing up on Google organically, which is where the vast majority of the clicks occur, on your map, your reputation, your reviews, your organic keyword ranking, you owe it to yourself to try us. We even have proprietary software that we own called DataPins that lets you post pictures of jobs, unique captions that increase keywords and long tail keywords, your rankings on Google, text and emailing clients about reviews, even posting pins and photos and captions back to Google. All this helps your organic rankings. DataPins is fantastic, and the work we do here at Roofing Webmasters is fantastic. Please give us a call. We'd love to hear from you.
I do want to make the point that AI integration into search, ChatGPT, Bard, and the acceptance of AI by Google and Bing does not mean they're accepting AI-generated content.
Right.
Because they are not. They still do not want a bunch of, the whole point of that, or a huge part of the point of this, is getting rid of trash content.
Right.
And they still consider AI-generated, 100 pages of AI-generated content is still considered trash.
Yeah.
So don't get that in your head. I actually had a discussion with a client that had discovered ChatGPT, and he was writing his own blogs with it. And I was like, you need to stop doing that right now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And just to what is that doubling of knowledge what is that called?
Moore's Law?
Moore's Law. How often is it? Every
2 years.
2 years. Yeah. So the speed of computers and all that stuff doubling, right?
Yeah.
And Moore's Law.
Or no, it's double every year. Sorry.
Every year.
Yeah.
AI is going much faster than that, guys. So when I say this is
Moore's Law is actually out the window now.
It is for now.
Yeah.
It is for now. So it's not going to be. This is happening any day. Yeah. And then if you don't do stuff like proper setup and DataPins integration, things like that, you're just going to continually get more behind. That's the nature of the algorithm of growth of content and branded signaling, is that if you don't stay up with it, and a competitor does stay up with it, they're going to favor the one that provides a better user experience.
Right.
That person is found by better digital branded signaling. So they find that branded signaling that they like, and then they serve it up to the Google searcher.
Right.
But none of that's really going to change. It's just going to be AI assisted, and their amount of change is going to happen. It's going to be interesting because people are going to be scrambling with their bad sites. I was talking to someone just the other day, and they had a website up. They had called looking for help, or someone had called them, and they bought. And they slapped on an aftermarket deal, but left up the crappy website. And the crappy website was just a basic 5-10 pager, poor content, never worked on. And then they slapped over this little SaaS tool. And when they did that, the client adhered to what they were supposed to with the SaaS tool, but didn't get any better rankings. Better rankings, she claimed, it decreased. And the point being is that Google's already good enough without AI to tell whether or not you've got a great branded digital web presence.
Right.
You can't just buy into whatever sales presentation and not produce this stuff, or you won't show up. And I'll say one more thing about it. We talk about this a lot, but if you've never participated in being on Google and being on all the search engines, and by the way, we already see our sites on ChatGPT optimizing, so it optimizes on all of it. It's same parameters, just a different algorithm and AI integration. But if you haven't ever shown up in Google, it's where what we call the big show. It's where over 70% of people click, over 80% still go, over 70% they go click on a non-paid item. Map ranking, reputation reviews, and organic rankings, which we help with all of that. And you need to try to get up there. It is not really that difficult.
If you've never done it, you don't know what you're missing.
You don't know what you're
don't
missing.
Understand how much better your life could get.
Say the phrase, by the way, the big, not
Which
big,
one?
up there because they're.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Your competitors are not big because they're art.
I could have said it better than I
you threw me a curveball. They're not up there because they're big. They're big because they're up there.
did. Yeah, people come up with all these reasons. Oh, they're huge. Oh, they've been around forever. Oh, they must spend $20,000 a month. No, they're not spending much, but they're serious about it.
Yeah.
And they focus on it, and they get regular call volume. That's why they fight for it. Or other people say, well, people don't go up there much. Well, I don't think they get that many calls from it. It's like, why do they fight like mad to stay up in rankings? Yeah.
Yeah, if they didn't get any calls from it, they wouldn't keep
It's
paying
their
for
entire business.
Yeah.
And then people complaining about Google and all this stuff, like it's the largest free search platform. You have to pay for it. Stuff gets confusing. Things coming down the pike like AI and AI integrated algorithms, and then you have to have some professional services for it.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to add to that. Guys, if you want to get up on ChatGPT or Bard or whatever AI is coming, we'll integrate your site or build a new one with DataPins, do all of the standard high-end SEO work that we do, and then add all the new stuff that we do that's through DataPins, patent pending portions of the software and SaaS. Very simple to use. I always say an 8-year-old or an 80-year-old can learn it in minutes.
Yep.
Very simple, but very robust. It'll text the client links. It'll post the photos and the captions and the keywords to the Google account, and it'll do the GPS coordinate wrapped in schema, looks like digital hand raises around town with the photos and the caption to the individual pages on the website, which, by the way, because it's integrated properly, is inside the app itself.
Yeah.
So it's not some slap over veneer to what you currently have. You can actually, I'll put this on this city page, and I'll put this on my shingle roof page, or whatever it is.
Right.
And it'll go onto that page and embellish the proper content. And you don't understand that entirely, but if you didn't do it that way, it wouldn't optimize.
Yeah, we don't just slap a page on with pins on it. Our app gets fully integrated with your website, so things get put in all the places they need to be.
So you have a proper high-end digital marketing agency combined with a proper high-end SaaS software company. It's the only way to get it to work the right way. Then your branded web presence looks proper, is proper, and then you're sending them a variety of digital branded signaling to them, and then you're building out the entity categories inside there and embellishing where it should be, TPO to TPO, shingle to shingle, tile to tile, and then they can see those tile jobs around town or whatever it is. It's
You
beautiful.
sound like a priest.
It's beautiful.
Shingles to shingles.
I didn't mean to do that.
Sorry, it's my Catholic up there.
Yeah, I hear Baptist preacher voice all the time. Like all the time.
The preacher bot from Futurama.
Yeah.
Circuits to circuits, rust to
Yeah.
rust.
The Baptist preacher definitely has a tonality, and
Yeah.
a volume. There's a certain thing going. You pick it up. I guess Catholics too, right? It's all the.
Catholic priests are more kind of sonorous. And,
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But they all sound the same.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter where you go to Baptist church. It doesn't matter what part of town you're in.
Yeah.
Everybody's similar.
Yeah.
I grew up with it. I like it. I don't know. All right, guys. Call us when you're ready. We'd love to hear from you. free to call. We'll talk to you. We'll go over everything. Happy to answer your questions, and we hope to hear from you. So,
Like and subscribe.
yeah, thank you, man.
Take it easy.